What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with another review for The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 14, Episode 11. This episode was titled Sleepover with One Eye Open. Now, before we go ahead and get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel, and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, you guys, and also by turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss this episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, shall we? All right, you guys. So, I don't know if I'm gonna go in any particular order of this week's episode. So I'll start up with the people who gave us the least in this episode, and we'll start up with my girl Margaret. So we see Margaret. So in this episode, there literally was like very little with Margaret. What we did get from Margaret, we saw as Melissa and Joe went over to Margaret's house. So Joe is going to be taking down one of Margaret's trees. And so we saw the Joes, they went outside to do that. They played a little trick on them to pretend like Joe had, hurt himself. But Melissa and Margaret were like, I saw the ketchup. So we know that that's not, actual blood. Now, while Melissa and Margaret were inside the house, they were having a conversation about Joe's health, right? And Margaret is telling Melissa that this could be cancer, prostate cancer. And Melissa was like, well, if it is, then that's it's bad, but it would be good that you guys caught it at an early stage. And so that was ultimately it with the scene with Margaret. We didn't talk about we did talk about Jackie briefly. They talked about the fact that Jackie's daughter had her bat mitzvah and that they didn't know anything about it. And so Margaret was talking about the fact that she had commented on, Instagram to Jackie. And that was pretty much it. That was really all we got with that scene with them. And I was like, okay, cool. Like it wasn't too much. It wasn't drawn out. We didn't talk about, any of the other girls like that. So I was okay with the scene. You guys will definitely tell me what you guys think and what you guys feel in the live chat and in the comments below, you guys. And then after Margaret, the person next who didn't have a whole lot, I guess we would say, is Black Dolores. So with Black Dolores, we see her as she went over to Jen Fessler's home, right? And so she and Jen Fessler, they were just, catching up with each other. And they were also talking about how with the group, they haven't really had fun with each other since they went on their cast trip last season. And it's interesting because the division this season, they didn't go on a cast trip. And that's so it's so like in all my years of watching Housewives, when they introduced the cast trips, this is the first time since COVID that they didn't have a cast trip. And even with COVID, they did cast trips, but it was international. It was not international. It was domestic because we couldn't travel abroad. But this is the first time since COVID that we aren't having a cast trip. So they were talking about the situation with Teresa, right? And we'll delve deeper into Teresa in just a little bit. But, Dolores is talking to Jen Fessler about how Teresa is basically not herself. And so that's why she was really talking to Jen the way she was at the Namaste BITCHES podcast, right? And like I said, we'll discuss the stuff with Teresa and Louis in a little bit. But Dolores' whole thing was when she was talking about it, her thing was she told Teresa, like, I don't want to know anything. So that way, if it gets put out in the press, you can't say that I had anything to do with it. And Jen Fessler agreed with her, right? So then we talk about Jen Fessler and Rachel. So Jen Fessler was talking about the fact that after, you know, her defending Rachel's husband, John, she was talking about the fact that she did text Rachel and she read the text message that she sent to Rachel. Rachel did not respond to her. Now, what I will say is, and this will be in defense of, you know what, when it comes to Jen Fessler, I don't necessarily have a problem with Jen Fessler. It just, this season, it just looked like Jen Fessler was being two faced. That's really how it looked this past season with her. Because my thing was with Jen Fessler was that, you know, your friends are telling you, don't talk to Teresa about me, but then you go and talk to Teresa about your friends. So, you know, just had a little side eye for you. But I will say with Jen Fessler, since she took the initiative to reach out to Rachel and just try to explain things to Rachel, I would have felt the same way Jen Fessler felt about Rachel not responding to my text. It's be like, okay, I text you, I apologize to you, but then you don't, you know, respond to the text message. And so I would, like I said, I would feel the same way she felt. So then Dolores, they were talking about the fact that Rachel is going to be having a sleepover. So she texted the group, and then when she texted the group and told her that she wasn't going to be coming, that's when Rachel texted her and was like, "So, you know, you're not coming to the dinner, to my party." I feel like it has something to do with this, you know, me not responding to your message. And it was like I would feel away. Like you didn't respond to my text message of me apologizing to you, but you want me to respond to you about your party. So yeah, I would feel away. I would feel the same way that um Jen Fessler felt. So Jen Fessler did text Rachel, you know, with the Dolores kind of coaxed, you know, talked her into texting her and saying that she'll come to the party. So we got that. Now with them having this girls retreat or whatever they want to call it, Dolores' whole thing is she wants to do this so that way that they can put out all the fires. I was like, good luck with that one. Good luck with that. Because these girls, you got Teresa against Margaret and Melissa. Then you got Jennifer and Danielle at odds with each other. And also Teresa and Rachel at odds with each other. So I don't see it going the way that Dolores wants it to go. And I mean, we've already saw from the trailer that it's not going to go the way that they want it to go, because I believe from what I've heard that Jennifer Aydin and Danielle Cabral got into it once again because of something. Now I don't know how true this is, but this is, you know, going off of what I've heard from Melissa's old nose, that, you know, I guess um Jennifer made a comment about Rachel's husband, not Rachel, but Danielle's husband, and it got it started from there, right? And like I said, I'll talk about Melissa's own nose a little bit once we get to Teresa's thing, because we'll talk about it once we get there. And I think we're about to get to Teresa. Yeah, we're about to get to Teresa now. No, let's go ahead and move on to Gen 8 and real quick. So this was another scene where it really wasn't a whole lot to it. Jennifer. So Jennifer is having lunch with her brothers, right? So one of her brothers, he was in Florida. He's has a store that he bought that he's building on. So then the brother asked her about the situation with she and Danielle. And here's my thing, Jennifer. You keep sitting here telling half truth. Well, not even half truths, girl. You just straight out lie because you want to sit here and make it out that you barely touched Danielle. You aggressive. You were the aggressor. Now I know people popped out, but Danielle was in her face. They were in each other's face. So miss me with that. They were in each other's face, and the way that Jennifer is trying to play this off as if she came up in my face. She was being aggressive with me, so I just kind of pushed her away. No, you did not just push her away, Jennifer. You pushed that girl with a lot of force. So I want you to be honest about the situation because you are straight up lying, like lying, and that's what's getting on my nerves with her. So then they did have a conversation about Teresa, and when it comes down to Jennifer, Jennifer feels that Teresa doesn't have her back. And like I said last week's review, I actually defended Teresa last week, and I'll defend Teresa again this week. The thing with Teresa and Jennifer, right? Jennifer, you've had issues with people because you're being blindly loyal to Teresa. Now, I don't know if Teresa's asked you to be blindly loyal to her, but that's where your problems come in. Teresa, I get where she's coming from. I honestly do. Danielle ain't done nothing to her, so why am I going to be mad at Danielle, cut Danielle off because you two got into a fight? I didn't tell you I didn't tell you to fight Danielle. You did that. I turned my head for a quick second and it all went to hell. So I don't blame Teresa. Can't believe I'm saying that, but I don't blame Teresa. But that's really all we got with Jennifer. So we will go ahead and move on to Teresa. All right, you guys. So Teresa. Now we do see as Gia is studying for her LSAT. So good, I don't know if Gia passed her LSAT, if she's taking her LSAT, but what I will say is congratulations to you. That's that's major, right? So they then talked about Louis' ex. Now, if you guys are familiar with Melissa's old nose, she has talked about this ex a lot, right? And I would say go listen to Behind the Velvet Rope podcast because that's where I've heard her discuss Louis, Teresa, and all the things behind the scenes, right? I found it a little odd to me that with Teresa and Gia and them talking about his ex and the fact that the woman filed a restraining order against him, that they want to call her crazy. I hate when people do stuff like that. Like, y'all don't know what he's doing to that woman. And from what Melissa's old nose said, y'all were having people go to her business and try to do things and shit. It's weird. So I don't blame that woman for filing a restraining order. But y'all want to call her crazy. It's like, now if something happens to that woman, which I'm not saying that it would, y'all, oh, never mind. Never mind. I don't even want to know how y'all feel about it because I don't really care. But I just think it's weird that Gia and Teresa are sitting here trying to paint this woman off like she's crazy because she filed a restraining order against him. A restraining order is a protective order against them saying, don't come anywhere near me. Y'all don't know the ins and outs. Y'all don't know the particulars of their relationship. You only know what Louis tells you. And Louis could be lying to you. My God, today, like shit. So then this is also something that Melissa's old nose said about Teresa. Teresa's big aha moment this season was going to be the fact that Margaret had been in communication with Louis' ex. But Margaret, I don't remember when she said it, but I know Margaret had said that she had spoke to that woman. But that's neither here nor there. Again, you don't have to leave any comments about that because I don't care. But I'm what I will say is when it comes down to that, Melissa, I know people don't believe that account, Gabriella. I know people don't believe her. I know people want to paint her off as a crazy fan and things of that nature, but some of the things that she said, like this right here, that the aha moment for Teresa was that, Margaret had conversations with Louis' ex, and that she was going to have Jim Leonard, her attorney, talk about it. And in this episode, we got that. Teresa confirmed that she's going to have Jim Leonard talk to the girls because Jim Leonard is not representing Louis. He's her attorney. So I believe Melissa's old nose. That is it. That is all. So we then do see Teresa as she's having lunch with Jennifer Aydin, right? So Teresa apologized to Jennifer for what happened the night before. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of Teresa, but I don't think Teresa had anything to apologize to Jennifer for. That was on Danielle. How was she supposed to know that Danielle was gonna say that she's surprised that that place hadn't burned down because Jennifer's in there, or that Jennifer looked like shit? So I didn't. Teresa, she apologized. It wouldn't have been me. So then Teresa was telling Jennifer that she didn't say anything because, one, she had to get back out there and do the Q&A. She had to take pictures with people, and she just did not know how Danielle was gonna react. And I was like, okay, I understand that. Jennifer, however, doesn't understand that because Jennifer's whole thing is, and this goes back to what I said earlier, Jennifer is so blindly loyal to Teresa that she expects Teresa to do the same thing for her. She expects Teresa to have her back. And like I said earlier, Danielle hasn't done anything to Teresa. So I don't blame Teresa for not saying, "Oh, you know what, Danielle, since you and and Jennifer got into it, I can't be friends with you anymore." Like, I don't have a problem with her not saying that. But like I said, Jennifer, you've been more loyal in from the outside looking in, from just looking at it, right? And how she's talking, it sounds like you're saying I've been more loyal to you than you're showing me loyalty. That's your problem. Like I said earlier in the review, when it comes to Jennifer, you didn't have to have issues with you didn't have to have issues because, like I said, previously you and Melissa and even Margaret, y'all would make up at the reunions, but then you would come back into the next season and y'all still bickering and arguing with each other. So I feel like you chose to do those. It ain't no. I feel like it, Jennifer. You chose to do those things, unless Teresa put up, a GUN up to your head and told you, or forced you to do something against your will. Then that's on you. That's on you, Jennifer. And that is all I got for Jennifer and Teresa. Let me know what you guys think about that. I actually would like to know your opinions about Jennifer and Teresa. And we'll go ahead and wrap up the episode, you guys, with Rachel. So, Rachel, you guys, we see as Rachel is having Danielle and her daughter over to her home for a play date, right? So, here's my thing when it comes to Danielle, because Danielle was talking about her dad. And my thing about Danielle and her father, because I still, when you listen to it, the issues between Danielle and her father, it just sounds so minuscule, minute, and trivial at the very least, right? So Danielle was telling Rachel how she invited her dad to, the kids, the thing for the kids. She invited him to the bougie kids thing and all that kind of stuff, and he wasn't able to make it. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, it doesn't sound like there's like this big, huge thing between you and your dad. So why don't you just call your dad up, have a conversation with your dad? You know, you can tell him how you feel, and hopefully he listens to how you feel, and just leave it at that. Like I said before, it just doesn't sound like it's anything that detrimental that you guys can't get on the same page when it comes to your relationship. So I think that she just, figured out her relationship with her dad, because it just sounds, like I said, it sounds trivial, minuscule, minute, and quite frankly, dumb as hell. So then they talked about the podcast, and so she told Rachel that it was at a church. She said it didn't burn down. She's like, "That's what I said to Jen Aydin." Oh God! And then she said, "On my way out, I told Jen Aydin that she looks like shit." So this is where we found out that Rachel is going to be having a sleepover. Well, it's not a sleepover. It's just like a girls' slumber, a little girls' thing. All the ladies are coming. She's even inviting Jennifer because she doesn't really have an issue with Jennifer. So Danielle was like, "It's fine. I don't have. You can invite her. Like it's all good." So that's gonna happen. And then we get to the sleepover. So everyone shows up. She provided the women with pajamas and that are have monograms. I think it has their names on it. She got them slippers and all that good stuff, right? So Rachel and Fessler, they had a conversation with each other, right? I was happy that they were able to just squash it because it's really stupid. Rachel told her that at the was it the Bougie Kids fashion show, wherever the hell they were at. She just wishes that when she had the conversation, when Jen Fessler had the conversation with Teresa and Gia, that she had come up to her and just pulled her to the side and had the conversation with her. And I was like, cool, I'm okay with that, right? And then after that, Jen Fessler was telling Rachel how it hurt her feelings and she felt pushed aside when she didn't respond to her text message. So Rachel and Jen, they both apologized to each other and they were able to move forward from there. And then after that, they had fun, right? They talked about how do you know when your guy wants to have sex. Jen Aydin kept talking about milking the prostate, and I was like, girl, never mind. Um, yeah, and so after that, Dolores had the conversation with the ladies about them going on this retreat, and they all seemed like they were open to it and very receptive to it. And that was the episode, you guys. These last two episodes, can say I've enjoyed them because it just hasn't been a lot of. It hasn't been so divisive like the first few episodes. These last few episodes have been fun. Now I know that the finale is going to be one for the books, but I think next week is not next week. It isn't the finale. It's the week after next. That's the finale. So yeah, you guys, and I also know that they filmed whatever their version of the reunion is. So from what I've read, they separated the ladies into groups and put them into a room, and I think that they all watched the last episode and gave commentary on it, which sounds terrible as hell. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode of Jersey down in the comments. You guys subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and also you guys share the video. And until next time, stay safe out there, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys. So the next video will be I'll see you guys for the Real Housewives of Dubai on Wednesday. Bye, y'all.